Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is episode 234 of the world famous University Love podcast, also known as Online Marketing Moves. And we're coming to you live today. Today is Thursday, March 25th, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about being a specialist and how you can make money online from being a specialist. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. What skill set do you have? Think about it for a second. Think about it for a minute. Write it down. What skills do you have? And how can you translate them to the online world? Ladies and gentlemen, I know time and time again in this podcast, we have talked about starting a business, yada, yada, yada. But ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest with each other. At the end of the day, the most important thing that you want to do when it comes to online marketing, when it comes to this online space, if you want to be in this online space full time, the most important thing is figuring out a way to generate income. Okay. That's the most important thing. Starting a business sounds great. It's great. Don't get me wrong. But if you are somebody that can write blog posts and make a bunch of money every year, then do that. Okay. If you are a specialist and you're great at one thing, do that. Monetize that. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing, as I say, if we all want, I know not everybody, but if you listen to this podcast, then I'm pretty sure that you want to do something when it comes to online marketing, when it comes to generating an income online, of course, because this is why we listen to this podcast. Now, so the most important thing, because I've had when I took my 5-day sabbatical last week, I had to think about this. I said I do a lot of bumping my gums about starting a business, and that sounds great and everything, but not everybody wants to actually, have like 20 people, working for them, having 50 people, 100 people, 200 people. Some people do not want that at all. Some people just want one person. Some people don't want anybody. Some people might want one person. Some people might want two people. Some people just might want to be a specialist. So the point of this show is not only just to talk about, hey, you want to start a business online? No, the point of this show is to talk about generating income online. So that way, if you decide that one day, hey, man, I don't want to work this job anymore, I'm making plenty of money online, that's the way I'm going to go. And that's what this podcast is all about. So we are going to get into talking about you being a specialist today. Now, so some of us have different skill sets. Some of us have different backgrounds. I myself have been a truck driver for 15 years. So I'll give you an example. If I went out here, if you came to me and said, I want to learn how to drive a truck, I could say I could charge you any amount that I wanted to, because not only have I driven a truck, but I have trained 30, 40 people when it comes to driving a truck. So I have a vast amount of experience in training people. So I can say, hey, I could charge you this, I could charge you that, I could charge you what I wanted to, because that is a specialty of mine. Now, the other thing that I would be able to charge you about when it comes to online marketing, the one thing that I could charge you about is how to start a podcast from scratch. I could charge a certain amount of money. It's not as much as I could get buku money if I wanted to. If you came to me and said, hey, teach me how to drive a truck, I could charge you what I want to charge. I'm good. I have no problem in saying that about when it comes to truck driving. I am good at what I do when it comes to, as far as the truck goes. The podcast, middle tier, okay? I've done a good job so far of doing the podcast, recording, uploading, this, that, and the other, and I've gained an audience. So I could, if you said, hey, teach me the ways of starting the podcast, I could charge you not as much as I could when it comes to the truck driver. So those are a couple of things that I could charge for. So think about things that you could charge for and make a great amount of money about. Okay. So just think about that. And the reason why you want to start thinking about these kind of things, being a specialist, is because if you're a specialist, you can charge more. Think about, when you go to the doctor. I was listening to this guy talk about, because this guy, he was discussing creating a membership course, a membership a subscription. He was talking about starting your very own subscription, and I was writing stuff down. I was thinking about it, and I was like, that's a good idea in the future, and you should think about this. You should think about that as well. Starting your very own subscription doesn't matter what it is. If you copyright or if you whatever, but the reason why people start subscriptions is it's revenue that comes in on a monthly basis. It comes in every month like clockwork. And that's one of the more important things that you have to learn, especially if you want to, really get into because at the end of the day, we are all, no matter what we say about, I know we talked about in the first, creating an online business. But at the end of the day, all of us are entrepreneurs, okay? And if you really want to set yourself apart, and if you really want to turn this into a full-time operation, if you really want to turn this into a full-time online business, the most important thing you must do, that we all must do, is we must learn how to generate income from different streams, okay? We must. It's a fact. We must learn, because one thing might dry up, but if you have a subscription base and it's coming in every month, then that can be your foundation. You want to make something your foundation. That's the most important thing. You want to make sure that you are generating money, because I'll be honest with you. The thing that nobody tells you about when you first start online, the thing that nobody told me about, is you have to spend money to make money, okay? Like, I have these things that I have to pay for, Get Response every month. They want their money. No matter how big your list is, no matter how small your list is, Get Response wants their money every month. Okay. I have this thing for the YouTube channel, vidIQ. They want their money every month. So every month I'm putting money out, but every month I have money coming in. So this is how you start generating money. So that way you won't be coming out of pocket, and say if you still have a job, say you still working a job, you don't want all your money from the job going into your business. You want to start generating some money, so that way you can alleviate the funds. You won't have to worry about, oh man, my job, I gotta work extra or do this or do that. No, you take the money that you're making online and put it back into your business, and that's how you start to really start generating things. Because the more money you make, the more you can spend on your business, the more money you can buy things to upgrade, your business. So this is why you want to think about this kind of stuff. And this is why you definitely want to look into what you are good at, what you are great at, and offer your services, on a regular basis. Because it's a great way to start making money. It's a faster way to start making money than anything else. Let's say you're great at writing. You might be great at, emails. You can say, hey, I will write emails for you for a certain amount of money, and people will come to you. People will pay you to write emails. Some people do not want to write emails every day. I write my own emails, me myself. I like it. I enjoy it. It's a challenge to me. I want to learn how to, really get in there and really, make money from email marketing, because as I told you the other day, I do not want to sit on the phone with people I do not want to sit on the phone with people all the time. Eventually that's going to get old, and I want to just keep sending emails. So I send emails, and I'm getting better and better at it, but there might be your specialty. You might have different things that you're good at, you're great at, and you can charge what you want. So this is why, and also being a specialist in one thing can be the foundation for your entrepreneurship in the online space. Okay. Say if you are really generating money from this one thing, and then you go, okay, now I can try other things. Let me try this. Let me try that. Let me try this. Let me try that. Because you always have something to fall back on. You always have something that you can make money on. Even if your funds start to get low, you can always say, let me do my specialist thing, and let me create some money. Because I was reading this article one time about Stan Lee. And Stan Lee said, if his wife wanted a nice dress, if his wife wanted to go out of town, or his wife wanted to do something nice, take a trip or something like that, Stan Lee he would sit down, he would write a story, he would write a comic book story. He would sell it, make some money, boom, have something for his wife. So Stan Lee was good at creating, Stan Lee was good at writing, so Stan Lee took advantage of that, okay? So, and that's what being a specialist is all about. You always know, hey, I can make some quick money. I remember a guy hit me up a couple months ago. He said, how much can I pay you to train somebody? I didn't have enough time then, but now if he said, hey, how much would you charge? I'm thinking, 500, 750, 1,000 bucks, something like that, because it's one-on-one, it's a specialty, it's what I'm good at, it's what I know. And I'll say, hey, I could charge you for this. And I will give you the results that you are looking for, and that's the key. If you get people the results they are looking for, you can start charging more and more and more. You can charge as much as you want to. It's not about the price. It's one thing that people, if you say, if somebody comes to you and says how much, and if you tell them, hey, give me $1 million, and if they say, okay, I'll give you $1 million, then that is the price. It doesn't matter. They value the thing that you can do for them at $1 million. So it's not about the $1 million. It's about the return on investment they are going to get from giving you the $1 million. Okay. So don't be ashamed to charge people don't be ashamed to charge people the right price. Of course, don't go too high, but don't go too low. Don't lowball yourself. All right. That's another thing I want to talk. That's another thing that we're going to have to discuss in the future. Price. People think, I don't want to charge them too much, but you also don't want to charge them too little, because you put a lot of time into this stuff. You put a lot of effort, you put a lot of time, and more and more nowadays you have to buy equipment. It's a lot of things you have to do if you want to, say if you want to create content, you have to buy video, you have to buy a screen, you have to buy a recorder. It's a lot of things you have to go through. So you want to make sure that you can recoup some money. You want to make sure that you are, for the time that you spent, you want to make sure you're getting your money back. So you want to charge a fair price. You don't have to be, you don't have to be the product of, you don't have to be the product of pricing, but you don't want to be the Dollar Tree of price when it comes to that. Either be whether I read this in a book one time. It said you can either be the lowest. Yeah, a Dan Kennedy book. It said you can either be the lowest. If you can't be the lowest, then sell high. I was like, oh, that makes kind of sense, because in the middle, people might be like, I don't know, because it's amazing. If you price something high, people think, hey man, that's expensive. That's good quality. People have that mentality. And I read that in a book, Influence, by Robert, was it Giardini, something like that. You should check that book out. It has a lot to do with marketing. And it just talked about how this lady couldn't sell these items because she was trying to sell them for half off, but then the clerk made a mistake and put two times the worth, and then said the people from out of town came and was like, "Ooh, must be good stuff," and they all bought it out, and she sold out of it when she was trying to sell it for half off. So, to those people it was valuable, but to her she was just trying to get rid of it. So, never underprice yourself. So definitely think about that. Definitely think about things that you can be a specialist in, okay? So you can always have something to fall back on. Like the first course I should actually make is about how to create a podcast from scratch. Like that should be one of my first courses that I should actually do whenever I start making courses. It doesn't I'm not gonna make it like it's not gonna be like $999. It'll probably be like a $75, $50 course, something like that, because I have a few things I could tell you, but it's not complicated. You know what I mean? It's not like it's the most important thing. I will give you the information for free. So, but the most important thing about the most important thing about any kind of content that you want to create is you want to be engaging, you want to be entertaining, and you also want to tell good stories. You want to, you don't want to be like, welcome to the podcast, blah 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 blah. No, you want to be engaging. You want to be excited. You want to have some passion. You want to let the people know. This is why you should listen. So, but for you, how can you translate your skills, into specialties, and how can you start generating money online? Now there are different ways you can always go to, like, the Fiverr and the Upwork. You see all these people on Upwork And Fiverr, you know, and I'm starting to look more and more into Fiverr, more and more into Upwork because I need more and more stuff. So there are different things you can do. You know, you can go on there and you can start killing it. You know, these people make. I just paid a guy. I paid a guy like $150 to do a logo because I wanted to try to make all my stuff, you know, congruent. We talked about this Monday. Make all my stuff congruent. So I decided to make a little logo, you know, and he charged like $150 because I'm gonna put the logo on the Facebook, the Twitter, Instagram. As I told you, we're gonna make online marketing moves just, you know, on all the social media forums because I don't want to, you know, I don't really care for social media, but for marketing purposes, you know, I need it. So we're gonna just make online marketing moves the whole thing, you know. So pay somebody $150. They probably did 5 minutes of work, 10 minutes of work, I'm sure, but I don't care. I don't know how to do it. So, you know, there you go. If you're into graphic design, if you're into drawing, you know, that's something that you can think about. If you know how to write emails, you know, those are the things you can do. If there's a skill that you can do and you can translate it, then definitely translate it. All right. If you're not a code, then you know, do all that kind of stuff. So be sure be sure when you know you be sure you just create the most important thing that I want you to get out of this whole situation is make sure that you take advantage of the skills that you have. So that way you can generate money, as much money as you can by doing things that you know how to do. And then you can build on that. You can build an audience. And the more audience you build, you can lead them. And then this is another thing. No matter what thing that you do, no matter what kind of role you want to play online, you could always say if you gain an audience, you can always fall back into the affiliate marketing niche. This is very true. Let's say, as I told you before, I used to see this guy. He talked about camera equipment. And I was like, look at him talking about camera equipment. And I never put two and two together at first. And then, you know, I was like, what kind of camera should I buy? And he was talking about the Canon M50. And he's like, you know, you can just check out my Amazon link. And I'm hitting the button. I'm like, yeah, that's a good camera. I'm going to buy that camera, you know? And I bought the camera. And you know how many people probably looked at this? This guy had like 500,000 views, 700,000 views, something like that. You know what I mean? People, not everybody, but just think of 2%, 3%, 5% of the people, 10% of the people listen to him and bought a camera. And he makes a commission from Amazon. I mean, he's doing pretty good for himself. You know what I mean? So no matter which road you can go, if there's equipment that you start using and it really works for you and you really start generating leads, you can always make a video about that. You can always make content about that. You can say, hey guys, I'm using this equipment, that equipment, click on my Amazon link, and that's another way you can start making money. So you can always build off the whole specialist thing, okay? You don't have to stay in the same box if you don't want to, but at the same time, you use that box to grow your business, to grow your entrepreneurship to a whole nother level, okay? Because you want to make sure that you have different streams of revenue, because we talked about this and we're going to close out this episode of the podcast. The more streams you have, the more ways you can go, okay? And the more money you make, the more you can do marketing, the more you can do advertisement, the more you can hire somebody to do the jobs that you don't want to do, and the more time you will have, and the more freedom you will have to spend with the people that you want to, or do the things that you want to do. All right. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Go out there, write down some things that you are good at, and some things that you can do to translate into the online marketing space. All right. And with that being said, my name is Tony Zano. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm glad that you are here. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. As always, everybody, before we go, I'm going to tell you like this. Go to the Facebook page, Online Marketing Moves, like the Facebook page, follow us. We'll be posting stuff more and more on a regular basis. Also, if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, go to the YouTube channel. Find Tony Rizzano. We're going to be changing the name in the next couple of weeks. But anyway, in the meantime, go to Tony Rizzano, the YouTube channel. Go ahead and give us a subscribe. We need all the subscribers we can get. We are on our way. I believe right now we are at I forget. It's not the most exciting number, but I give myself, ladies and gentlemen, 2 years on this YouTube channel. We're gonna be busting out 200,000 people. Okay, we're gonna have 200,000 followers. So jump on board early, and one of these days I'll send you a T-shirt. All right, just let me know. Say hey MF, I was subscribed to this YouTube channel before you got out big for your britches. All right, but anyway, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to you, and we will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of Online Marketing Moves Podcast. My name is Tony Rizzano, and as always, everybody, peace.